Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on the Ridge, a moment we've all been waiting for. Time to wire up our solar panels. That's right, today's the day. We've got to get 48 solar panels wired up, mounted to our Chico USA 4-car carport, and guys, this thing has been amazing. No leaks whatsoever down on our vehicles. 4-car carport. It is amazing how it is. There's these channels, right? There's these channels between all the panels, both vertical and horizontal, and no water comes leaking down. It is perfectly sealed. I am super excited about that. All right, so we've got 3 inverters, and you can see these little columns right here. We have our DC isolators right here. We've got cable ran all the way up to each one of the DC isolators, one on 3 columns, and there'll be 2 strings per column. So we got to wire 8 to one string and 8 to another, and then 8 to one and 8 to another, and the same thing on the first column before us. So guys, what are we going to do? We're going to get all of this right there wired up. All right, I got some 500-foot spools of 10-gauge PV cable, both black and red. I've already used a bunch of it. Hopefully I've got enough to finish this project. Down below here, I've got some PV management clips. Each one will hold 2. You just slide it onto the edge of the rail, and keeps the cables nice and tidy. Right here we have genuine Stahlbill MC4 connectors. Guys, I would not go with anybody other than Stahlbill. They are reputable MC4 connections. Right here, these are PV fuses. I'll put these on the positive cables. They are 1500 volt rated, 20 amp. And then some tools I'll be using. I'm going to be using hex crimps with 10 gauge ferrules, and of course our MC4 crimping tool. Guys, all of this should help us get this project done, and most of it can be purchased from Signature Solar and some of it from Amazon. First thing I'm going to do, get these vehicles out of the way so I can get my ladder up in here. So, start with a Kubota. Let's move over to the Durango. Woo, she needs to be washed. She is dirty. Get the tractor out of the way. Old Blue. I love Old Blue. She's a good old tractor. Now we got to figure out how we're going to wire all of the panels up. Now, I'm going to wire them all up in series, obviously, because I can handle it on my MPPT strings. Each string to the inverter can handle well over 8, and I'm doing 8 to each one. So let's see how we should do this. So if I come up from the DC isolator, DC disconnect, come up to the weather head right there, come out the weather head with 2 positives, 2 negatives, and a ground. I'll mount the ground up to the center column there. And then the positive negatives, this is the center column, can run over, I believe, to between these 2 rows, right? So if you look, there's 4 panels there and 4 panels there. Make sense? So if I run up the 2 cables up in between them right there, I can connect the male to the female there, and the female to the male on that one. I'm actually using that one right now, but I can disconnect that. And then they will daisy chain, right? So it goes through the panel, out the one side to the other, 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 and they crisscross, applesauce, come back in, crisscross, in, out, in, out, and then right back to where we started. So the two cables should be able to go right there. For the end columns, it's a little bit different in the fact that the column isn't centered between the 8 panels, the 2 on one side, 2 on the other. It's off to the end. So I'll have to run my cables towards the center for the 8 panels there, and then right over here for the 8 panels here. So and I'll have to do the same thing on the other end, but that's not a big issue. I just hope I have enough cable. All right, we can see right here's our weather head. We'll come out, loop down, and these will be right above it, right? So we'll go this row of panels right here, and the next row over there, and we'll go in here and out there, right above the weather head. So this one should be pretty easy. So I've got to cut all these zip ties on the cables here. Oh, I gotta stretch. I gotta stretch. Make it. There we go. I think I reached it. There we go. Come on, Tim. You got it. You got it. There we go. Woohoo! All right. I'm just going to leave that connected right to there for now. Actually, that one could have stayed zip tied because that's where the cable's coming up to. I can put some zip ties back on. It's this one right here I've got to cut the zip ties on because it has to go diagonal. Tim, you should have thought first. You should have thought. Okay. Is it good? There we go. We cut this one. Sorry, guys. There we go. Cut that. And that is going to go all the way down over there to that one right there. Just hang this cable over this beam. Hopefully it'll stay there. Come on, stay there. Okay. Now, should be able to slide ladder. I believe right there will work. Oh yeah. Get my cutters out here. Oh yeah, it'll reach. Snippety, snippety. Of course, this one's got to go over there. You got to crisscross applesauce this one to there. You know, I have made a mistake before, guys, and actually hooked up the in to the out of the same solar panel. Okay, I am not a perfect person for sure. You slide this one over there, so that one is. Matter of fact, let me straighten these wires out a little bit straighter. There we go. Get a little bit of the bend out of there. Oh, it's windy. It's windy. All right, so now I gotta grab this one over here. Don't drop it. All right, grab this one, and it should plug right in. All right, let's get it lined up. Perfect. Click. Make sure it clicks. Ah, there we go. Click, click. All right, now I'll secure these later. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. All right, next. Reach it. Might be a little close. Oh, that's gonna be tight. I have to scoot a little closer on that one. But these will reach because that one's got to go and this one's got to go to there. So let me see if I can get a little closer. I can. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, I'm perched a little precariously on this ladder here, but I think we got it. I think we got it. There we go. Come on down. Sorry about the grunting. We got it. Okay, see if I can scoot down off the ladder again. Whew, that was close. All right, so I gotta put this one up over here. Grab that. All right, it's gotta go to this one right there. Let's see if I can do this here on camera for you. Can I do it? Can I do it? It's a little awkward. Slide it in all the way one-handed. Click till it clicks. Ah, there we go, right there. Made it a little bit tighter. There we go. It's gonna be a lot of up and down on ladders today. Whew, goodness. Gonna get my ladder muscles worked out. Clickety, clickety boom. Make sure it snap. There we go, here, snap. I'll tighten that up so it's nice and straight. Now this one over here that I had wound up, it actually has to go all the way across to the opposite side female. So I was gonna lay that across there, and then I'll have to get over there. Now we'll start on the second row. Before I get any further, I want to show you what it looks like now that I got everything tightened up. So I got a little loop on that one, crisscrosses applesauce. The connector's right in the middle there. That one is looped tight. Come down over here, we can see that one there. Goes across there, connector's tight. Looped right there, comes over here, and then that one is tight as well. Again, that one right there hanging down, I'll probably have to re-zip tie that one because that one's where the weatherhead's gonna feed. So down here on the end, the one over there has to run all the way across to this one, and I'll secure it nice and tight like, and then of course we'll start crisscrossing, applesaucing all the way down the second row. Ow! Bumped my head. Ah, that hurt. See, we keep it real here on RidgeLife. Leaving all that in there, leaving it all in. All right, let's see if I can reach that up in there. Oh, it's gonna be tight. Oh, can I reach it? I got it, I got it, I got it. All right, woo. And it fits. And I will be able to leave a little bit of loop on it, which is good. Okay, got to click. Now I gotta cut this one. Yeah, so I'll be able to secure those, no problem. Sorry, I was leaning on my microphone there. If y'all heard that, I gotta pull this one over here behind me, and then start this all over again. All right, coming down. All right, we are on the home stretch now. I'm liking it. You're like, Tim, you got 48 to do. I know, I'm just gonna get these 8 right now, then we'll start working on the verticals, because this can get monotonous. All right, I gotta tighten these up. Can get very monotonous, I'll tell you that right now. There we go. All right, let's do this. All right, click, click, boom, as the song goes. Click, yeah! Let's get it tight. Panels 7 and 8, last of the first string. All right, let's get these. Click, click, boom. Make sure. Oh yes, that's nice and tight. All right, so let me get the. I'll get the other side tightened up in a second. If we look, this one right here is positive, and that one that I cut the zip tie on, that I have to put zip tie back on, is negative. So the inline fuse will actually go on this male one right here. That's the positive. Male is the positive, female is the negative on the solar panel. All right, got the zip ties put back on this one. Now I'm gonna tell you something I just learned. My dad, master electrician, retired, said, Tim, why are you cutting your zip ties? You should be twisting them. I said, I've been doing this for over 30 years. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, he said, just instead of using side cutters, use your pliers, grab the end and twist. And just twist it off, and it leaves a smooth edge versus a really sharp one. Learn something new every day. I was today old. That worked pretty good, actually. We can see how those all are connected now. I think they look pretty good, how they all go diagonally across. So while I'm up here, go ahead and get the weatherhead cover off. I've got it glued in, so I got to just pop this cover off here, if I can do it without breaking anything. There we go. Get up there, buddy. And that should just pop. Oh, popped it right back down, didn't I? Try it again. There we go. Pop off. Pop. Oh, it's stuck. There we go. It's stuck in the back. There we go. Now I can just run my wires down that hole. I wish I had 2 spools of my PV cable, but I've only got 1 set. So I'm gonna have to run 1 set down, label it, and then get the second set pushed down through the same conduit, which I should be able to do it. I'm gonna try this without using any fish tape. The second time around, I may need fish tape if I already got these 3 wires down there, because I do have a ground also. It's only a 12 gauge, but we'll see. I know these 3 should. I mean, it's just a straight run, right? There's no bends, no corners, no 90s, no nothing. So I'm thinking we're gonna be okay. Oh, we're already out the bottom. That was easy. Got our first cable set through, but at the bottom, we can see they're labeled 2468. And that is 2468. Who do we appreciate? Your mama. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Across the top, though, it's labeled 1, 3, 5, and 7. They're opposite. That's right, because cable 1 comes in there, and cable 1 goes out there. Cable 2 goes in over here. Cable 2 goes out there. I am serious, guys. That is exactly how that works. It's pretty confusing, but let me get it labeled before we make a mistake. I'm trying to save as much of the cable as I can. I could just cut this off like a lot of electricians do, but no. I got to make sure I save exactly as much as I can. So I need to label 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Here's 3 and 1. So let me get a 1 right here. Can I get a 1, 1? Can I get a what? All right, so 2 is red, so 1 is red, and I got to make sure I leave enough for the crimp to go on. All right, and I need number 3, so it's 2 and 4, and then it's 1 and 3. So 1 and 3. Odd numbers. Tim's a little odd, isn't he? Yes, he is. All right, so about the same distance back. There we go. And I will not have to label the ground because it's green. Green is ground. All right, so now I can get a stripper, get my crimps on here. Let me go get that. I'll be right back. 10 gauge, strip this back about right there. Alrighty, same thing here. There's some thick insulation on these 10 gauge PV cables. It's thicker than standard 10 gauge THHN, that's for sure. But this is made for direct sunlight and burial, but I went ahead and put it in PVC. I probably should have ran THHN all the way back. Would have been a little bit easier, but all right, so make sure this is all smoothed up. And one problem I do have is that the insulation won't go all the way down around the crimper there. That's all right. As long as the wire goes to the end, that's all that matters. All that matters. There we go. That's pretty close there, and that's pretty close. Wires all the way to the end. Get my hex all the way in there. Crimp tight. Perfect. Look at that. That is nice. Make sure this is down on as far as it'll go. It should be. There we go. Same thing here. Down. Oh yeah, perfect. Strip our ground back. Alrighty, now I can get this put in the terminals. Loosen this one up just a hair. Slide it in there. Come on, get behind it, get behind it. Get behind me, Satan. There we go. There we go. Get in there. Get in my belly. There we go. Tim does a lot of movie reference, doesn't he? Get the ground tight. All right, again, I'll do torque checks of everything once I'm done. Now I can push these back up. This has got to be 1 and 3. 1 is red. That's right. And 3 is black. Why didn't y'all stop me? Huge mistake. Would have been a huge mistake. You guys know that these solar panels here are the far end, which would be 5 and 7, not 1 and 3. Come on, people. Column 1, column 2, column 3, east to west. Solar panels 1 and 3 and 5 and 7 on the top. So come on, people. Can't believe you let me do this. That would have been a bad mistake, you know, in the future trying to work on something. Now, I will say this. This disconnect disconnects both these strings. So technically, anytime I turn this off, both will be dead. But it's kind of nice to know which ones your wires are. So 5 and 7. 5 and 7. Okay. Now, after I got them labeled here, I can get them terminated. Oh, goodness gracious. The people I'm working with. Can't get good help anywhere these days. All right, 5 goes right down in there. Make sure it's all the way in. It is. Tighten up. Again, I will come back and torque these later. Get it nice and tight so it holds it. All right, so I can push that cable back up there and get this out of the way there. Now 7. Get that in there. There we go. Tighten this one up. Whew. There we go. All right, so I can pull that up, straighten that up, and pull the next ones down. All right, the ground wire is going to go right over to that lug right there. So I can go ahead and cut this. Okay, don't fall down there. Matter of fact, let me just tie it. Let me tie it in a knot right here. I don't want that to fall down the hole, do I? I've had that happen before. All right, so I said the female, or the male is positive. So I'm going to create a loop, right? So when it comes out of the weatherhead, I want a loop so that any rain that hits this can drip down. And then I got the fuse, right? That inline fuse. So I'm thinking right here should be enough. And this is, again, let me go ahead and label this. This is 5, right? 5, right? 5. Supposed to tell me if I'm right or wrong or not. Where's 5? There's a 5. Okay. I'll label that one right there, 5. And the black one, I'm gonna have a loop and connector, a little bit more. I want to make sure I've got enough to have a good rain loop right there. Some people said make a double loop like that, but I've looked at weatherheads before and I don't see that. So I'm thinking right there is good. So let's cut this one. This is, all right, 5 and 7. 7. Do you have the 7 one out? I got the 7 one right here, Tim. Ooh, mosquitoes are coming out. Yeah, mosquito gonna bite me right in the face. Ouch. All right, 7. How far down am I? Right there. All right, so now I'm gonna leave these out. I got them labeled 5 and 7. I know that goes on this end, Tim. I'm gonna get 1 and 3 now, and we'll push that through. See if we get that done before we put our MC4 connections on. All right, now the real test. Will the second set of cables go down smoothly? I am sure hoping. This is 1-inch conduit, and I'm only pushing 4 wires in the ground through, so I'm pretty sure it will. All right. Yeah. We're there. So let me pull it out down there. There they are right there. See if I can get them to come down. Oh, come on now. Ow! Pinched my finger. Oof. All right, let me use a different set of pliers. They aren't as dangerous as that one. All right, come on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Whew, that hurt. Pinched me good. Oh, that look at that. Blood blister already. Big old blood blister. That's gonna leave a mark. Ah, these things pinch you real good right there if you're not careful, and boy, it did. Ooh, gotta be more careful, Tim. 1 and 3. Crimped. Get on there nice and all the way. I like that. Good tight fit. All right, get some labels on here. 1 and 3. Now we're going to do the right ones, 1 and 3, because before I jacked this up. 1 and 3. Dun, dun, dun. 1 and 3. Dun. Boy, these jobs take a while, guys. These jobs, it's definitely not a quick thing doing a project by yourself. Now, if you were hired somebody to do this, they'd have a whole team. They'd have all these solar panels already connected. They'd have all these cables pulled. They'd have everything. Do it yourself, slow and easy, wins the race. All right, let me get these behind here. I'll get them terminated. All right, make sure that's pushed down in there all the way. Number 1 is in terminal 1. Tight. 2, I see 3. Let's make sure that's pushed in all the way. All right. So now we should be able to strip back up top and get the Stahlbill MC4 connectors on. That looks good. All right. And the cover will cover that right there. All right. This is the second string. I know exactly where they're going to go now. Since I got the first one figured out, I know exactly where the second ones need to go. And I just got to make sure I have enough. I'll probably go up over the beam there with a loop first, and then along here. The red is going to have let's see, it's going to have the fuse in it, so it can be a little bit shorter. And the red goes to the positive, which is over there. So actually I can bring them both the same length. So probably loop over there and right here. That should be good. Make sure I'm right. 2 panels here, 2 panels here. All right, both these should be good. Cut 1 and 2. Whew, hope I got it right. Do our first MC4 connector. We got the red wire, which is positive. Now up on the solar panel, the positive is a male connector. So for this cable, we're going to need the female MC4 connector. And inside the female MC4 connector, there's the male ferrule. Okay, and just like up there, the male MC4 connector has a female ferrule. I know it's kind of confusing, but just remember that the opposite is on the inside of it. The opposites always go together. So first thing I need to do is take off this little cap here, slide that on. Now I can slide the ferrule over. Make sure you don't get any whiskers like I just did. Gotta make sure you twist it. Sometimes it helps to twist to keep from getting, there we go, keep from getting those whiskers on there. Make sure it goes all the way down as far as it will go. There we go, all the way to the insulation. We are all the way down in there. So now the hard part, especially by yourself, I got to get this crimp on over. I mean, it's not really that hard. It's just hard getting it on there right the first time sometimes, especially when you have as bad eyes as I do. Slide it in, get it up over. Up and over. Ah, come on now. Let's see, get it up over there. There we go. We got it. And it just crimps it right over. All right. Yes, perfect. Okay, I'll show you on closer. I'll do another close-up one here in just a second. So now that I got that ferrule on there, again, this is the male. I'm just going to slide it in the open end till I hear a click. Click. Perfect. That is stuck in there. Now I just put the collar on there, and I need my MC4 wrench I dropped, and I just take this collar over here, slide it on, and sometimes you can use 2 of these wrenches. I'm just using 1 for now until it pops. It'll pop. It'll slip. just like that. Okay, so now I know that is completely tight enough. We got our first MC4 connection. All right, so I'll zoom in a little closer. You can watch me crimp and do this black one. That would be a male on this end. All right, just take off the little cover, slide that on over there. Okay, now we got our appropriate amount of, I got this one stripped back really good. Oh, that's perfect, look at that. Okay, so now I've got to get our crimp gun here. Okay, let's see, I'm trying to make it where you can see this. Hopefully I'll zoom in, come in on this side of it. Nope. If I can come in, hold it, oh shoot, it turned. That's the problem with it, it turns. If you had two people, really makes this a lot easier because you can guide it much better. There we go, I got it. Oh, no, it turned again. Y'all are seeing what I'm saying, right? You seeing it spinning? Let me put it up like that. Okay. Come in, and go inside. Inside. I probably, you know, I think it'd help if I just squeeze it a little bit by hand. Okay. I can slide it up on over there. Perfect, we got it. All right, we did it. Pull that off, and look at that, guys. Look at that. That is a good looking crimp right there. That looks good. All right, so now, just like we said before, I'm gonna slide this in till it clicks. Click, hard to hear the click on that one, I'm sorry. And I'll put this collar on there. And I've got my 2 wrenches this time. I'll show you how to do it with 2 wrenches. So I put this one over here, and then this one I put on the inside there, and then I just go righty-tighty till it clicks. And that is it, guys. We got our black, our negative done. I think I feel stupid. You know what I just did? I put these MC4 connectors on. I haven't ran these cables through the weatherhead yet. Remember the little holes in the weatherhead up top? I gotta run the cables through the weatherhead, then put the connectors on. These connectors aren't cheap. Oh my gosh, I gotta cut these off and run them through there. Lessons learned. I am normally better at this. I'm make a list and check it twice. Learn better, Tim, or do better, Tim, do better. All right, let's do this again. All right, the ground needs to go out the center, right there. Okay, and the 2 shorties, this is 5 and 7. So I'll do 5 and 7. Get those through there. Can't believe I made that mistake. Okay, and then we got 1 and 3. These are the ones I made a mistake with before. So let me put 1. All right, so now everything's labeled. I know where they go. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. All right, so now, make sure I can get the weatherhead on. All right, and my ground long enough? Yeah, just long enough. Oh my gosh, I might need to pull a little bit more up. That's pretty close. Let's go ahead and get the ground on first. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and use a ferrule. I like using ferrules anytime. This stranded wire really spreads out whenever you go to put a crimp on it like this lug right here. So, crimpity. All right, that looks good. Let me go ahead and put this weatherhead on real quick while we're here. I should not need to get back into there. Pops right on, look at that. And I will fill this with some duck seal. Basically has gray putty, and that'll keep any kind of moisture from getting down and going down there. I mean, we're under a carport and has an angle, and I will put loops. So, all right, let me get this put in. Perfect, right there. tight, 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 tight. All right, ground is done. Now I can go ahead and get the MC4 connections on. Let me go ahead and get the MC4 connections on both of these sets, and then I still have to get the next 8 parallel or series together, and once I get that done, then we can make our connections, put the clips on, get everything pretty for these 2 strings of 8 right here. All right, we got all 16 2 strings wired up, and we can see how the cables go crisscross applesauce all the way across. Again, 16 of them, 2 strings. And if we come over here, we'll see that right there's the 2. I've got to connect my cables, and right there's the 2. So I left them spooled up. So now I've got to get the cables ran across with clips. And then, of course, I need to put those MC4 connectors on finally. All right, so these here are 5 and 7. Red goes to positive. So here's the positive right here because it's the male. Now, I'm going to have a loop, and also going to have this 1500 volt 20 amp fuse. So it will be, see, this will be female, plugs into the male. And then female plugs into the male up here. So I got to clip everything appropriately, just make sure I can see. So these right here, I think I can go ahead and put the MC4 on, and then I shouldn't have to cut any off these. Those over there I may have to cut just a little bit. So let me go and get the MC4 on these, and we'll get these clipped on. All right, I got both the MC4 connectors on. Again, the male's on the black, the female's on the red. I'll go ahead and hook this fuse up to the red. Make sure it clicks. Click, and then it doesn't come apart. All right, so now I'm going to keep the loop in here and run these up and over, both of them. And then, so keeping this loop right here, let me get onto the other side, and that's where I'll start using the clips. All right, so grab the negative here, and this will be the first solar panel that I actually connect to the line. Now, we'll tell you this, you never want to do this under load, right? You never want to make a connection, the sun's on the panels, but the DC isolator switch is off. So therefore, nothing is going back to the inverter. There is no closed loop. This is just an open wire going to an open wire. Also, I kind of misspoke earlier. When putting on these Stahlbill MC4 connectors, the male, you strip back. The female, you strip back about the same amount. I actually held it up next to it. You don't want to strip it back all the way to the end of the female, because then you won't have a hole for the male to insert to. So you do them about the same. You're leaving the length of the ferrule open in the female hole. So again, it crimps around the copper. Just remember that. Okay, also, when you don't have to take off this collar and slide it on. I've had some before where they fit so tight the ferrule won't fit in there, but these Stahlbills, which are really sweet, you just slide it in, click, and then tighten it down. So, words to your mama. All right, so let's see here. Click, perfect. All right, so now, let's get back on the other side, and we can get all this clipped up and pretty. All right, first thing, I'll get the fuse connected to the positive, the male. Click, click, boom. All right, so now I can get both of these. Where's the, there we go. I'm going to offset these just a little bit like that. And these are double clips. Let me get these clips out and show you how these work. So these clips right here, can you see them? I know it's a little, let me get my face out of the way. So basically, right there, I'm gonna slide this clip over there, and then these pop right in, they hold two, just like that. That looks perfect, so I need one more on that side. One right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'll show you when we get done. I'll show you again. So black, slide it down just a little bit. And oops, I gotta get a little more red right there. Okay, so that's good. And I think I'm good right there. Let me go ahead and do one more right here. Again, I got a package of 50 of these, so better to be more secure than you need than not secure enough. All right, so let me bring you in a little closer. All right, here you can see how we're slid on there really, really nice and tight. And then both the cables are on there, one there, one there. Let me bring you under so you can see here too. There's that side, that one, and that one. Bring you around this way a little bit so you can just see a little bit better. Want to make sure you get every angle possible. And I've got the fuse sitting right up here, so that looks great. There you go, from a different perspective. You can see the loop coming out of the weatherhead, loops up, racks, goes to the clips on the rail, and then the fuse is on the positive side over there. I think that looks awesome. So now I'm going to bring these up and over, keeping the same loop that this one has. And matter of fact, I'm probably going to put a little zip tie around those to make sure they stay together like that. And then run these right down there. So the black one and the red one. All right, that looks good. All right, make sure there's no sharp edges. Everything looks good there. Probably go down about every foot or so. I can always adjust them if I need to. So make sure there's no sag. Black at the bottom. Oops. Go black one first. All the way. And the red one. All right. Yeah, I might need to go down. No, I think it looks pretty good. And then I'll do the next one right here. About the same distance. Let's see. There, and right here. All right. And then black one. Oops, I did it backwards, didn't I? You got to put it on the right one. There we go. Whew. All right. There we go. Slap, slap, slap your mama. Come down this way just a little bit. Oh, once you get them on, they're on pretty good. There we go. It slid. All right. And red. All right. Everything looked good. Let's see, black at the bottom. Oh, I twisted them. I twisted them. Let's do that again. Whoo, that wind is blowing. All right, black and then red. Push that back up. All right, that looks good. Now, whew. Yeah, I might want to go put a couple more clips in between, shouldn't I? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if I should make it a little cleaner with more clips. I got enough. All right, so this is the positive. Let me get it clicking connected. I got a clip already up here and a clip right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. And so I gotta, all right, so everything's good there. I gotta turn around and see if I can snap those behind me. 1 second. Whew. Ladder's kind of scary right here. All right, where's my connectors at? So, all right, red and fuse, male to female, click, and we got, oh, I got another clip right here. I almost lost a clip. All right, so black to black, click. All right, there we go. So I got black at the bottom. So let me pull that tight. Click, click, right there's perfectly. I can actually put those, is that okay to have them hanging? I may put a couple, no, it'll be fine. All right, so I got a clip right here. Click, and that looks really good. Let me get this pushed back over the top there and I'll fix that. All right, I think I will put some clips right here to hold this up. Or just kind of set them up right there, yeah. We'll see, all right, woo. Guys, we do a little prettying up, cleaning up my mess, and we've got 2 strings of 8 wired from the disconnect all the way back to the inverter. Quick look from up here, how everything looks going down the rail. You can see the weatherhead, how the cables go around, got the water loop there, and then everything is all tidy on all the panels. We got 16 done. Very excited, very, very excited. Whew, guys, that was a pretty good job. I couldn't tell you how many times I went up and down that ladder. Now you gotta remember, it's not just doing the work. I'm filming by myself. So every time you see me on a ladder and then the camera angle changes, that means I got down from the ladder, moved the camera, got back up on the ladder, continued working, got down, moved the camera again. So basically, I'm going up and down the ladder about for 5 times every time you see me on the ladder. But it's worth it. Hopefully you think it's worth it. So we got 16 done, 32 left to do, 2 columns of the cables to run up. Not gonna bore you with doing it all over again on this video. Actually, I'm still using some of these panels, right? But I can go ahead and get the cables ran up and start doing all the unused panels, getting them all connected, zip tied, and get all that prettied up there. So, whoo, if you like today's video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe. It's always 100% free. And guys, there is tons more solar coming. And of course, building the off-grid barn house right after that. So again, love you all. Make sure you hit that notification bell on your way out. Be notified anytime a new video comes out on one of our channels. And until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day. Don't forget, Signature Solar. You can get almost all this equipment at Signature Solar. I am not a paid sponsor, but I am an affiliate. So I appreciate you guys supporting me, supporting Signature Solar. So until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day and go Ridge Life. Woo!